Hey YouTube, Mickomoo here with another episode of Mickomoo Makes. Today I'll be making a Super Mario Bros. 3 level. This is actually me annotating a recording of a level I made earlier. I actually made this level I think in May, or end of April. I was supposed to make a level. What I do is I make a level ahead of time every month, but I didn't. So I didn't upload this video in June. And I didn't make a level in June, so I think I'm going to take a break from making Mario Maker levels. I'll still play other people's levels, but I think in terms of my level design process, I'm kind of going over what I want to do. So anyway, I'm starting over. This level is called Stay Cool. So the idea is that I take ice blocks and I will use that in a lava-filled setting. Sorry, and sort of the joke is you're supposed to stay on the ice. It's not really funny when you explain the joke, but I have a habit of doing that. The idea for this level came about from it's again wordplay. Now, to be fair, I mean, I've said this before. I think ice blocks are kind of like a physics exploit. The difficulty in using ice blocks comes partly from the change to Mario's physics. While playing around with ice blocks, I've learned how to better sort of time like landing on them without sliding. And I guess the challenge for more experienced players, I guess, would be to learn or to master that skill. So, in a sense, ice blocks can be used to provide a good challenge for somebody who is expecting ice blocks. But that's why the entire level here is like filled with ice blocks. I wouldn't normally just have a level with like one or two ice blocks. Sorry, my voice is like cracking. I wouldn't have a level with just like one or two ice blocks randomly placed somewhere. In this setting, I'm doing like entire level filled with ice blocks so that there is both, consistency in the level design, but as well as the player knows what to expect. Because I mean, we've all played those levels where you're in like a grassland or whatever, and like all of a sudden you see this really hard jump and it's on like ice platforms. It's like that's kind of random. It's arbitrary. But if you have a level that leads into that has a basis for that, then it can be kind of okay. Like I see what's going on here. So that was my logic in thinking that, not me being a hypocrite per se. But yeah. So this is actually the first time, and possibly the last time, because the level I Like Turtles I actually made after they made this level. I've been sitting on this level for a while. In fact, I made a lot of changes after this video, so I'm going to do a recorded changes video. By the way, this video is in one segment, so instead of like I normally have one or two parts for when I create half the level and I do the other half in the second video, I just recorded everything in one go. So this is a pretty simple level, and also I designed the level ahead of time, so that definitely contributed to the decision to make it one video. So I came in knowing what I wanted to do, and I actually have an image of my like design level. I did a drawing in my sketchbook. I have a sketchbook for writing down ideas and whatnot. So you can see that. I'm gonna put in an Imgur or whatever, and you could just take a look. So the very beginning of the level, as you saw when I was building, involves 3 solid ice platforms. I'm gonna come back here later and put down some enemies and some obstacles, obviously, and then moving from that, going on to doing perilous jumps onto single ice platforms. Again, this is kind of difficult, but this level is intended for more experienced players. Not unlike my other levels, but this is deliberately for more experienced players. Like, beginners wouldn't feel comfortable with this. So what I'm doing now is I'm doing a callback to an earlier level. We have Bullet Train, sorry. We have Just Chill Bill. I'm doing another thing where I have a movable Bullet Bill cannon. So right now I'm doing a hidden block as a platform, and I'm gonna put a P block into that hidden block platform. This is sort of my own kind of I guess neuroticism. I'm making sure the player knows that you have to go up. I'm sure they can figure it out, but there's a hidden block there. Some people might be frustrated. Again, though, the level is intended for, you know, this is probably gonna be my first super expert level. If this level even gets played, I'm almost certain that this level is gonna be probably one of my most poorly received levels, even though it technically had the most planning. And by most planning, I mean like a 5-minute session of drawing lines and diagrams. So right now what I'm doing is, it's something that I actually changed in the final level, and I'll go over that when I make that video. But originally I wanted the player, so I'm putting in the power switch right there. The P switch, sorry. Um this is me fucking up my own attempt to play test this level. See, I keep dropping the P switch because there's not enough space. Just figured to go past that. It took me quite a few tries to get that right. So I move it up. So what I originally envisioned for the player here is that they would, they have a choice. They can either make this area easier by using the P-switch immediately. If they do that, then they can't get the red coin, so it's a consequence basically. Or they can hold on to the P-switch and use it never. At least in the original version of the level. I've changed it in the final version, and I'll again go over that in the changes video. I think I'm gonna start doing those more often, especially if I can shorten the length of my my Mickomoo makes like initial videos anyway. Because I do make a lot of changes. It's just that recording them is kind of, you know, I think it can be kind of redundant. I can tell too that my part 2s and part 3s of videos of, you know, level design, whatever, they don't really get watched. People may watch the first ones, whatever, but no one really watches the second part. And I can get that. So I'm gonna kind of try and streamline, sorry, my entire process. Anyway, here I'm still playtesting the idea. If I want, you know, like, basically, where can Mario touch the red coin so I can have it so that there's a consequence. See here, now it's too low for him to get it because he chose to do that. And then obviously for somebody who wanted to keep the power block, I would put extra hidden blocks. But right now I'm just still playtesting the concept. So I do admit though, obviously, as you can see here, the distance between the blocks is kind of poor. Like, it doesn't work well, especially if you're small Mario. Not much to say here, still playtesting the concept. Seeing if you could do without using the P-switch, and then seeing, you know, if you can't. So, that's again the concept I was showing, so. Now I just move on. I'm going to copy the base of the ice here so I can have the bullet cannon encased in ice if it falls. Not all the way encased. It's not like a just chill build, but now I'm going back and adding the obstacles to the beginning of the level. We've got burners here to make Mario's jumps timed and organized properly. I add some symmetry to where the burners are, so they're evenly spaced. And I actually, this is the first time I'm using like alternate burners and actually knowing what they do. So alternate burners they alternate times with the regular burners. I didn't know that. I was just like, oh, the flame's invisible. I guess it's more intense or something. I have to look it up. I'm kind of glad I'm using them because it allows a greater degree of challenge to have the alternating burners. Now my own timing with the burners here is pretty abysmal. And I think that's partially because I never played a level with burners and ice. I mean, I'm sure I have, but not one level devoted exclusively to this. In fact, from what I can tell, I've never really played any levels where ice was like everywhere. Like ice was the central aspect of the level. I've only seen people, as I said sort of in the beginning, they use ice as a sort of surprise. You're in a level where there's a difficult jump, and surprise, you know, the other end of the jump has an ice platform, making the jump more difficult than it should be. And I'm obviously sure that somebody's made a level like mine, so I'm not saying that this is a novel idea. I mean, there are Nintendo worlds in Mario devoted to snow or ice, which I wish we actually had instead of a grassland, or in addition to the grassland, the basic, you know, green Mario grassland, we had a snow ice area, because ice blocks sort of don't do enough. I think just like people want water levels or water in standard levels. I think that's why a lot of other Mario Maker platforms, the fan making Mario Maker platforms, are still very popular. I know Nintendo has shut down a few, like front screen Mario. I think there's a big deal with Super Mario Brothers X back in 2013, I think. But I mean, I love Mario Maker, but I can kind of see there is a limitation with some of the assets they give you, unfortunately. Still, a lot of people are doing good with Mario Maker, so and that's to see Nintendo have making this game. I think it's really important that they made it, regardless of the fact that there might be fan editors out there that are more comprehensive of Mario's and platforming in general, the history of platforming in Mario. So I didn't really know how pink coins work. I was trying to get the first pink coin to the second pink coin to be inside the hammer bro, because I thought it acted like keys. This is really the first time I started messing with the coins at all, so I had no idea what the rules around coins were. Um, just to reiterate, so that hammer bro is not in the final version. I did a different type of enemy. I decided so. For some reason, so I have to call back to the bullet bill levels I had with the giant tower here. The cannon has a tower or whatever. The hammer bro was supposed to be a callback to my difficult, hammered and smash. So that's like my second level. I went in the hammer bro just to call back to that. This level is supposed to basically be a shout out to all the levels I made with ice, and obviously, but the hammer bro didn't make the final cut. So because it's definitely not fair to have ice platforming and hammer bros, at least in my mind. I mean, it's doable, but obviously that's a frustrating experience. And when I was playtesting the level with the hammer bros in them, I had a frustrating experience. So that's definitely another thing. If you're having a difficult time with the level, or if a level frustrates you, then it's clear that it's going to frustrate other people. If you as a maker are struggling with the level, then that might be a sign that something needs to change. Of course, if you're, like one of those Kaizo guys, that might be exactly what you're looking for. So I have no idea. We're adding another key coin here just to have a trail of red coins for Mario to follow. In the final level, I do something that's more interesting with the coin, so you'll see in that video I keep talking about. The videos will be posted back to back. I'm going to probably upload this one. You'll probably see first, but The other one should be uploaded the day after that or whatever, or maybe the same day. It depends on what I can get through. For some reason, I didn't want to save because I was recording. I think it was a stupid idea because if like something happened, like a power outage or something, I would have lost a lot of work. But and that's actually happened to me before. I was playing Pokken for the first time, and power went out. I mean, luckily, you know, Pokken's just a fighting game, so it's not like I lost anything. But if you're really familiar with the timing of the burners, there's some really cool things you could do. I've watched Mario when I was playing. I've watched Mario run past the burner as the flame was emerging. It's really cool seeing that. So, if Mario Brothers had style points, I would totally give a motion like that like thousands of style points. So, this is my first time using tracks consistently, and I thought you could do circles. I mean, I've never really paid attention to tracks. So, when I was doing this and I was like, oh, why can't I make a circle? You know, I was just like really trying to get a circle in. And I finally decided, you know, maybe instead of a circle, I'll do a pentagram, I guess. Like, and this one's sort of facing forward, so it's like an arrow kind of indicating you go forward. And on the tracks, I put ice blocks that you have to jump on from the base of the tower here. At the end of the level, you'll see outlet platforms that you can stand on while you're waiting for the ice block to rotate around this track. And for the sake of symmetry, I put like 3 of these things here, just copying and pasting. Didn't know that the wooden blocks wouldn't fit on the track. Oh, not fit. Sorry, I think I changed that to a fire bar because I wanted something more challenging. Now, one thing I learned making this level. One thing I learned making this level is apparently, so if Mario arrives on a if he approaches one of these tracks, like part of the track early, and there's a block near him, that asset loads faster than the block on the other end of the track. It sounds weird. I may be explaining it wrong, but like basically, if Mario sees one block before the other, the spacing between the blocks on the track changes. And that's one big reason I delayed making this level, because that's a problem I can't solve. I actually made it worse because you see the red coin down there. I put it further away from the platform there. You have to use the P switch to activate a trail of rings to reach it, which allows you to see or glimpse one of the blocks before the other one. So it changes the timing. You could also take advantage of that to make the jump much easier, but it's something that will unknowingly probably frustrate players, not just at my level, but of a level where a creator didn't take account of that. I tried to mitigate it, but I don't think it breaks the level. But it's not what I intended, obviously. So we'll see what that ends up doing. Again, I'll be really surprised if anyone plays this level. like one of my levels, the last one I made, I like turtles. The last one I uploaded, sorry. Um, Nobody's playing that level at all. I haven't promoted it, so that's partially why. But the other thing is, only one person beat it, and I thought it was my easiest level like yet. Apparently, it's not, because I have a level that's considered normal, that's hard for me to beat, and everyone else is beating it. And then I like turtles. I beat it easily, and nobody likes that. So I can't really figure out the Mario Maker community. I I mean I not saying that they're difficult. I'm just saying like sometimes I have no idea who I'm making a level for. Like I was saying, this level's gonna be expert because of the ice and the physics involved in controlling Mario on ice. But maybe there might be some newer Mario players who are used to that. Maybe all the new Mario games are about sliding on ice and controlling Mario. I have no clue. So yeah, as a game designer, you say you know your audience, but sometimes you may not know, or you might be wrong about who your audience is. So here I'm deciding to do a third one of these things. But something didn't like quite sit right with me, so I wanted to change things up. Here I'm deciding what I could do with this. So I created a final platform where a hammer bro, again, hammer bros are going to be removed from the final version. Um, and the entire point is that you have to dodge that while you're making that final jump. Here I'm building another bullet bill tower. I think this one sinks all the way, so the idea will be that there's going to be a P coin here that you have to activate with, or not P coin, I'm sorry. Um, wow. It's going to be a red coin, a key coin that you have to get by activating a P switch, which moves the tower out of the way. For some reason, I didn't want it to be overdrive or red, the red cannon, whatever. It's actually really hard to grip coins for some reason. It's kind of weird, but yeah. Now we're aligning the bullet bill cannon with the ice blocks here. And then we're gonna obviously complete the base here so that the cannon can fall within the ice here. And just for shits and giggles, I think I put a bomb here. I can't remember what enemy I put inside the cannon. I changed it in the final, so don't worry. So when I was beta testing this, whatever came out of the cannon was frustrating me, which I figured would frustrate players. So as you can see, the red coin is now behind the bullet bill blaster, and in order to get it, you ideally would have to make the cannon disappear. I was seeing where exactly the range of the bullet was. I don't remember putting the plant in. The Priyana plant? I don't remember putting that there. Yeah, there's a bomb. The bomb. Oh, I did a burning? I don't remember doing that, actually. But like I said, it's not in the final version, so it's fine. So now I'm just taking a look at the level, this part of the level. So I'm testing if that works. But it turned out, apparently, if it wasn't low enough, you could actually just touch the base, not the base, but the side of the cannon, and get the coin. So I put it lower down. So now you actually need a P-switch to get the coin. So now that this is roughly the halfway point of the level, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do with the red coins. They have to lead to some sort of reward or prize. Apparently I deleted a block there, that's why it's falling, but it wasn't supposed to fall. Way too late on that jump. I changed the length of that firebar too, because it didn't make any sense to have yourself hit by the firebar that was on the other track. Now I'm just setting down enemies in the general vicinity of beginning to make it more like the actual level. I'm pretty happy with this part of the level, even though it was pretty simple to make, obviously. Just a bunch of ice blocks stacked and burners on top with dry bones. So at this point, I begin building the last remainder of the level. I already knew coming in I wanted Bowser to be the final boss. But I'm pretty conservative like that. I mostly just, if it's a castle level, I gotta have Bowser. Gotta have Bowser Jr. somewhere. I know some people don't do that. Others, maybe use another type of boss-like enemy. People get really creative with the boss fights. I literally just stick a Bowser there and call it a day. A giant winged Bowser, so it's a badass Bowser. Instead of, just regular old Bowser. But honestly, I wish I were more creative. I wish I had more. People seem to know what to do with the assets of Mario Maker, and I'm at a stage where I'm still experimenting, using the assets very sparingly, very conservatively, very traditionally. Like there are people who've made whole levels out of tracks, and I'm just like, oh, these tracks can be sort of like rotating platform. That's roughly my experience or my usage of Mario Maker's assets. I might What I'm gonna do is probably gonna read up on some more game design. Maybe I can improve my process, and then I'll be more comfortable. I'll be more comfortable with experimenting with Mario Maker's assets. So here we're moving the door. So now we have the door will lead to a room full of prizes. This has changed in the final version, and I'll again go over that more in that video. So if you're interested, you can see my changes and see how. I'll try and be more thorough with this changes video, because I know the last one was sort of just like, oh yeah, that's different. I'm gonna actually try and go through the logic of what I was thinking when I made the changes. But because I made this level in particular, I think end of April, early May, I gotta remember the details. I'm now recording this in July, so I don't know why I put a green Koopa here. I'm just like, oh, the player needs a challenge. It's a bonus room, but the player does need a challenge. It's gonna be too easy to just walk in and get prizes. That's obviously a stupid sentiment because I didn't keep the turtle. I don't even know why I put a red Koopa there, because, I mean, red Koopas are really only useful for platforms that have ledges. So, if you have a platform where a turtle can fall off, the Koopa Troopa will keep everybody on the platform not falling off, which is kind of cool. But having a red Koopa by itself on a platform that's suspended or that won't fall is sort of like you're just choosing a different palette for the turtle. And I guess red Koopas are, I don't know. They honestly don't do anything for me. So anyway, aside from the feature I talked about, anyway, what I'm doing now is I wanted a part of the level where there'd be sinking platforms, sort of to provide a sense of urgency and an incentive for the player to move quickly. So putting bullet bill blasters on top of lava is the best way to do that, because the blasters always fall if there's nothing suspending them or holding them up. And the lava obviously is endless, so they'll just fall forever. By the way, there's some really awesome levels with this concept of the falling bullet bill blasters. I'm just speeding this part up because I'm basically making the final platform, which is it's pretty redundant what I'm doing. Testing the length of the bullet bills, blasters, blah blah blah, whatever. So there's some really good levels using the mechanic of using the bullet bill blaster at the base there and having them fall into lava. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I mentioned them before on one of my my bookmark sessions. So Now, because apparently the bullet bill blasters, I wanted 3 for some reason. I don't know why just 3, but they didn't lead all the way to Bowser here, so I used thwomps to bridge the gap. It's another reference to an older level. I ultimately got rid of the thwomps. You know, they didn't really fit with the theme of the level, at least in my mind. So, but originally, while I was designing the level concept, I was sort of like, this is what I want. If I can't have the bullet bill blasters bridge all the way to Bowser's area, I'll just use the thwomps because I like referencing older levels of mine. It wasn't bad. It just I don't think it worked, so I moved them to make the level more cohesive. And now we're entering the final stretch of the level design, or at least the rudimentary part of me designing this level. This is Bowser's area. I'm kind of tidying up to make sure that this part wasn't too easy. Because what was happening is, as you just saw, Mario has a height advantage from that height, and he'll just run over Bowser and kill him, which makes Bowser basically irrelevant. Like, why have a Bowser there if you can kill him that easily? The thing that actually frustrated me with Bowser in Mario Maker is that Nintendo made it so that you can't kill him. I mean, it takes 60 hits, basically. You can't jump on him. You have to have fire. You either use the axe or you fire him to death, or you get a clown car or something. So, and Bowser Jr. you kill him in 3 hits. So between both of those, you can't really have a challenging traditional boss fight, which is why people do all sorts of crazy, insane things with their bosses. So for me, since I'm not at that level, I want to make Bowser work. I don't want it to be too hard, but I want it to be, you know, somewhat of a challenge. You have to basically time your run correctly while Bowser is in front of you. So I was trying to space Bowser in a way that would allow that to be possible. It'd just be a 3-second challenge, maybe, at best. But it's better than nothing, obviously. I completely changed that in the final, and we'll go over that again. So anyway, that's stay cool, at least as I imagined the draft of the level. Not much to say here. If you're interested in more, just watch the revision level where I go over the changes I made. Otherwise, YouTube, stay cool. See you guys next time.